Alright, so as you arrive into Hexport, Junie speaks up from the back of the cockpit. We're gonna have to act fast when to take those feed lines. You and Seraphin exchange glances. You're both still getting used to this new Junie. We? Seraphin raises an eyebrow. I'm still on the side of paying for the damn things. Shoots you a look. Or are we a gang now? I mean, what else can we do? We can work for it. We can explain the situation. Seraphin frowns, unconvinced by his own argument. Look, I just don't want to be on the run from two separate people. Is that so weird? June looks between the two of you. Hexport hasn't exactly been kind to me. You two trusted me, even though I didn't deserve it. I'm not used to that. I want to repay it. Not to mention that Carson's probably ripping you off. If you get enough cryo, we'll say he won't raise the price. Trust me, he's no good. I was trying to deal with Carson to get those derelict coordinates from the moment I arrived here, and he ran me in circles. She shakes her head. Seraphin is watching her closely. Even if I do take you at your word, which given everything seems a little tough, how do we even do this? He raises an eyebrow. You telling me we just drift in there and take the feed lines? Look, I get it. You don't trust me. She pauses. What if I have a vested interest in this working out? There's nothing left for me here, and I don't much feel like hanging around waiting for Carson to figure out my involvement in all this. I need safe passage. You need the feed lines to grant it. She allows herself a smile. See where I'm going with this? Seraphin sighs. I don't like it. He pauses. That makes sense. What do you think, Sleepa? We all get something. Exactly. Junie smiles. Let me prepare. I'll head to Factory Row, scope the place out. Meet me there and we can work out a plan. She glances between the two of you. Trust me, we can find a way. Keep it simple, clean. Simple is good. Agreed, Seraphin cuts in. His dark look betrays his concerns. I'll go scope out the bay we need in Factory Row. We should split up. Less likely for Carson to suspect us. Meet me excuse me. Meet me there in a few and we can finish setting up. Junie unclips from her seat, floating. I want to show you I can be trusted, that we can do this. She looks between the two of you. Believe that, please. And with that, she slips away down the passage towards the airlock and Hexport beyond. You look at Seraphin. I'm saying nothing, Sleepa. He unclips from his seat, too. Now, this is the kind of mess you have to go through to get out the other side. It's the kind you never escape. Either way, we're in it now. He leaves the cockpit. You stare at the chaotic lights of Hexport and wonder if anything in the Starward Belt ever runs smoothly. Oh shit. Seraphin wakes you gently. Sleepa, we're out of time. He checks the door to the bunks and you hear a faint banging in the corridor beyond. He turns back and meets your eyes. They're here. You have to go. Quiet. Seraphin holds up a finger. Why do you think I'm waking you up? They've locked the ship into the station. Seraphin grimaces. We can't release the docking bridge. Our credentials are being refused. We're trapped. A sudden banging echoes through the ship. Seraphin looks away towards the source of the sound. I don't know if they know we're here, but they certainly want to get in. He shakes his head. I reckon we have minutes before they get out the cutting torch. What do we do? Feed lines are a bust. Not gonna happen now. Best chance is to burn out of here as fast as we can and hope our drift takes us to a station when we run out of fuel. He sighs. We just might live a few more cycles before we starve. Problem is, we need to release the lock Hexport has on us. Otherwise, we aren't going anywhere. Seraphin looks down. I need to pilot the ship. What I'm saying is, I have to release the lock. Exactly. I'm sorry, Sleeper. He gives you a dark look. There's a big manual release levers inside the docking bridge itself. But to get them, you're going to have to go out through the airlock. He swallows hard. Once you do that, you need to get back in as the docking bridge releases. Mess it up, you're likely to spend sitting out into the black. I can do it. You nod. Nothing else to be said. Time is up, and this is what it's come down to. I'll be at the controls waiting. Seraphin gives you a nervous look. When you're back in the airlock, I'll burn hard. He clasps you by both your shoulders and looks you in the eye. Then, without saying anything, he releases you and glides out of the room. You drift down to the airlock as quickly and as quietly as you can. slipping into a suit for protection. At least you think as you secure the seals. You don't need to breathe. The banging subsides, and you hope the hunters have left, even though you know it's only the quiet for the storm. Take a moment waiting inside the airlock as it cycles. The second the exterior door begins to open, you go. As you dash out the airlock, the scene in front of you appears as if in slow motion. You see two figures a little way down the docking bridge wearing dark spacesuits, a canister being carried between them. Meanwhile, floating between you and them is a heavy-duty cutting torch, knocked spinning by the opening airlock door. You see the release levers in the yellow hazard stripe just beyond the hunters. You know you're lucky, and you know you only have a moment to make your move. Rush for it. You don't think. Just close the distance, kicking off hard and stretching out, making yourself as small a target as possible. You catch the two hunters unaware, as they struggle with the canister they're carrying, their hands going to squat black shapes on their hips. You fly past them, reaching out to the nearest lever as you do. You clasp the head of the lever, and the momentum wrenches it out of its housing, the whole bridge rumbling and twisting as one side comes loose. As you kick off the other side and use all your force to pull the other lever open, you feel the fizz of projectiles slicing through the air around you. The hunters are firing. A scream blocks out all sound, and you feel an urgent pull tugging you away from the ship. The tunnel bends sickeningly and then comes apart. Close enough to the ship that you manage to kick back, away from the twisting storm of debris that the tunnel becomes. You see the dark suits of the hunters among it, retreating towards the station-side airlock. As they do, a hail of projectiles slices across the void from their direction. You have no time to react. You're carried backwards by the hunters' stun rounds, their impact shutting off whole sections of your frame. You spin towards the open airlock. Your vision flashes with warning sigils and you feel a distant throbbing pain. The final faint things you feel before you lose consciousness are the impact of your body against the interior wall of the airlock, the hiss of the cycling system, and the heavy weight of the ship in full burn. Anything you can walk away from. What the? Seraphine's quiet question wakes you from your haze as the rig cuts across the belt. You try to move and feel a wave of flickering pain pass through your body. You flinch and steady your nerves. You find yourself strapped into a seat in the cockpit. Seraphine doesn't seem to have noticed you are awake. You open your mouth to speak, but no words come out. There's a crackle of noise that echoes through the ship's comms. Seraphine is glancing nervously at his console. Something has him spooked. Sleeper. The voice, as assorted as it is, cuts through you. Lane. I know you're there. A hissing pause. You are slipping away. A squawk of noise. We can't have that. You don't understand why Seraphine isn't reacting to the sound of Lane's voice. Then you realize he can't hear it. The voice is in your head. I take this personally, Sleeper. A sharp intake of breath. After all my investment, all my care expended upon you, this is how you repay me? I see a little something glinting out there, Lane continues. Could that be you? You don't move. You don't breathe. All you hear is Lane's voice. Something shifts in you. A sudden impetus. A will to move that is not your own. You unclip from your restraint, drifting forward towards Seraphine. Seraphine looks over his shoulder and sees you. You're up. He looks surprised. Take it slow, alright? There's a transmission coming out of Hexport. Some kind of evac order. Turns back to his console. Let me check this. You keep moving forward. Something isn't right. You don't feel right. A numbness grows in your body, your fingers flexing without your input. You reach out towards Seraphine. No, not you. Something reaches out to Seraphine through you. He turns again to see you reaching for him, grasping at his neck. A tension flickers in his eyes. Fear. A hissing silence, then a rumbling blast. All at once, the rig screams, system seizing electromagnetic paralysis. All at once, the rig shifts, carried on some shockwave of light. Pain, then darkness. What the fuck? Voices echo warmly through your mind. You can't quite make out what is being said, and any attempt to focus causes a growing flare of pain, so let them fill the air unidentifiably soft. You're floating, and so you cannot yet feel your body or its weight. The feeling is pleasant, soothing, yet the moment you realize this, it begins to fade. Pain shoots through your system, a reminder of the terrible damage you have suffered. It is bright, white hot for a moment, and then it is gone. Something spasms in your fingers, and you flick it away. Sensation crosses the sole of your foot, and you kick your leg. A weight settles itself in your chest. You are awake. You open your eyes to light playing across a surface patterned with stained cushioning. You are alone. The voice is replaced by the hum of air cycling, the distant clank of maintenance systems. You are alone, and this is not your ship. You jerk upwards against the straps that hold you loosely to the berth, suddenly confronted with the last things you remember. An overwhelming numbness, and below it an insipid animating force creeping through your mind. You pull out the straps and free yourself, floating up into the small habitation room, cushioned and worn, your mind racing. What happened? You search back and remember only Seraphin's shouts, the sudden acceleration of the rig, and then darkness. A chill runs through you. Cold light fills the room, and you float over to the dark square of the window. You see stars, the bright pinpricks of drive trails and skeletal docking bridges. This is the station. A sudden hiss draws your attention to the door, which slides open with a puff of equalizing pressure. Bliss. The entering figure jumps as they see you awake. Oh, you're up. They hesitate in the doorway. Where's Seraphin? Your friend, right? They laugh nervously. I'm not really sure. He headed out a while ago. I'm Bliss, they shrug, not sure what to add. Your friend, Seraphin, is out. Sorry. He brought you here. Here? Right, they nod slowly. This is my room. They glance around. Not much, I know. We're in my repair bay on the far spindle, if you know where that is. In the belt? Yeah, they smile sympathetically. In the belt. They look around at the room again. Come on, let's go somewhere a little more comfortable. They hold out a hand. You're safe. Don't worry. You follow them out into the corridor, gliding behind them. They move with the ease of someone who was either born in zero-G or has spent most of their life in it. They guide you to an enclosed balcony where heavily scratched, thick acrylic windows look out onto a chaotic-looking wet dock. Center of the dock is the rig, scratched and worn, but still your ship. It's a reassuring sight. So, what happened? Your ship, Bliss pauses. You were lucky I heard your distress signal. Since they're holding something back. I guess that expensive long-range array I was tricked into buying finally paid off. They laugh to themselves. Well, at least for someone. Ooh, Seraphin got a new token. You're out cold when I got there, and have been for all the cycles since. Your friend wasn't in great shape either, but he bounced back fast. I'll make a habit of doing that. Seraphin's voice makes you spin around. Good to see you up. He can't suppress a smile. Are you okay? He smiles. Don't start fussing over me, sleeper. I'm good. Your eyes fall to Seraphin's bandaged abdomen. He notices and pulls his jacket over the wound. Certainly looks better than when you came in. You should have seen... Bliss abruptly stops after Seraphin glares in their direction. Here. Seraphin pulls a few chits out of his pocket. Catch. Slings them over to Bliss. That's all I can get for now. Working? In your condition? Seraphin sighs. Please, I'm fine. Bliss looks at you apologetically. I know what it looks like, but I'm sorry. I can't work for free. Keeping this place going is bad enough. Oh, I get that. Seraphin nods. We're just thankful you towed us in. We aren't freeloaders. Bliss looks between the two of you. I'll let you two catch up. They turn to you. I'm glad you're awake. We were worried. They pat you on the shoulder and glide back down to the corridor. With Bliss gone, silence descends on you and Seraphin, both of you unsure what to say. What happened? What do you remember? Looks at you with concern. Lane. Seraphin grimaces at the mention of his name. Lane? He shakes his head. Seraphin looks out at the rig, takes a breath, steeling himself for what he has to say. Export is... He clears his throat. It's gone. He flinches. What do you mean, gone? It's gone. Seraphim catches your eye. Dropped off the map. No signals apart from one sent from fleeing ships. He frowns. I don't know what happened. No one does. Your mind skips, unable to focus on the information you have just been told. Think of the constant activity of the bends, the rumble of Factory Row, Karsten. Gone. By the time Bliss reached us, we had drifted out of range. Couldn't have seen it go up. I saw a sleeper. Something exploded. White hot. He rubs his arm, suppressing a shiver. A moment later, the shockwave was on us. The rig was crippled. Engine kept firing, but guidance went offline, letting us arcing out across the belt. He drops a hand inside his jacket, pressing against the bandage on his side. I managed to get her under control, but not before we started spinning. My restraints came loose and you weren't even strapped in, so we both got scrambled. He smiles a weak smile. Felt like being trapped in an auto wash. He turns back to you. I'm impressed you made it, to be honest. Flesh and blood human would have been smashed to pieces. He goes silent, the image a little too raw for him to continue. Could it be to do with us? Seraphim shrugs. Your guess is as good as mine, he squints. Would Lane do something like that? Doesn't make any sense. Utsubo is a gang. They run Darkside. They don't go around blowing up stations. All anyone's seeing is debris and radiation. Picked up a lot of ship transponders before the rig went offline. Maybe his people got out. He stops, unable to add anything more. You both float in silence for a moment. What now? Seraphim laughs weakly. One step at a time. You in a rush? Bliss won't hold us hostage, but I don't like to skip out without paying, even if we could get the rig started up. He rubs his necklace between his fingers. Bad karma. Beyond that, we need work, fuel, supplies. Make sure you are okay. He counts off the issues on his fingers. After that, he shrugs. I haven't heard of anyone coming after us. If they did, have to come through Hexport, or what's left of it. He looks away. The Foss Spindle is way out of Lane's territory anyway. They call this bit of the belt the Wash. Stations here run differently to Darkside. So for now, we have some freedom. Seraphim sighs. Freedom to go broke, starve, get in even more trouble that is. In all honesty, I was hoping you might have some ideas. Pats you on the shoulder. Let's look for a contract. Won't hear any complaints from me, he smiles. We'll be able to fly out for a few cycles yet. Won't hurt us to have something lined up. He pauses and looks away. Seraphim pauses and stares down. Look, Sleepa. He rubs his side. I'm not sure I can work right now. I just got kicked out of a salvage yard for passing out on the job. Looks away. Even with the pain meds, I've been able to scare it up. I can fly, that's for sure. He stares obstinately at the rig. You're gonna need some crew if you want to do any serious work. Use a slip. I'm sorry. Hey, don't be. Thanks, Sleepa. He turns away. I'm gonna take a rest on the rig. I'm wiped. You're looking at the rig as he leaves, the warmth and softness of your waking moments now feeling like a distant memory. Is this what you wanted? Freedom? A chance to work for yourself and not Lane? Well, here it is. All the problems and complications you could imagine. And at what cost? Could Lane have wiped out Hexport just to try to end you? You shiver at the thought. But if not Lane, then who? Theories cloud your mind. Could it have been Conway? A drone or mine drifting starward? Senate stat perhaps, with some plan to weaken the belt? Or a belt faction attempting to flip the board by intent or mistake? The belt had declared itself safe from the war brewing in the inner system, but now? Hexport's loss will be felt all across the Starward Belt. What does that mean to you? Your needs are much more immediate, apparent. Those must come first. You run your hands along your body, feeling the marks and holes left by the hunter's weapons. You know in that moment you have been irreparably damaged by the encounter. You realize these scars are reminders. You will not be caught like that again. You swear it. Take a breath. Time to make a plan. Okay. I need to find food. Spindle core. Bliss's Bay. Okay, the rig is only not gonna be ready for another 4 days. The underhang. I'm just gonna try this, because, like, just kind of gotta use these dice. Alright, Nemba's Kitchen. Earn a meal. Nemba's Kitchen serves those that can't work in the underhang, but able-bodied visitors like you have to work a kitchen shift to get to eat. Nemba's too busy to spend too much time with everyone in the kitchen, but he does notice those who do good work. Okay. I guess we're gonna be doing some kitchen work. Oh, well. You're only one of the chefs and they saddle you loading the auto wash. By the time you're done, there isn't much food left. Well, I made use of my lich dice at least. What else can I do down here? Find your way to a small community canteen serving one of the older units and spend the cycle chatting. Many residents of the Far Spindle live in this ramshackle underhang. It's not an easy place to learn to navigate. Spindle's Edge. Sealing shift. Most of the Far Spindle workers don't like going out to seal up the new units, as though they leave that tiring and dangerous work for outsiders. Alright. I only have 2 dice, and that's like really limiting what I can do here. Let's see if we can have Seraphim just source supplies on his odd jobs, because we have 0 supply, and that could help. We have enough cryo that we can buy things. Oh. You wake to the sound of blaring proximity alarms, and quickly unstrap from your bunk and dizzily glance around. Lane, bounty hunters? You kick off and glide to the door. As you do, Bliss pops her head around the corner. Sorry, I look a little sheepish. In all honesty, it's not my fault. Your wiring is all backwards. It takes you a moment to understand what's happening. You settle yourself against the door frame. Sorry, I'm just a little jumpy. I get it. Bliss looks down. Didn't mean to wake you. It takes you a while to get ready and drift down to the mess to see what's happening. By then, Bliss has turned off the alarms. You find them unspooling wires from a hatch you'd never previously noticed in the mess's ceiling. Sorry again, sleeper. Their voice comes through the ceiling panels, muffled and dull. Settle at a stool, neatly tucking your legs behind the crossbar. How are you doing? Me? Bliss's muffled voice echoes around the room. I'm working. A pause. Helps keep my mind off things. How's the ship? Bliss spins deftly, hooking their legs into the open ceilings so that, from your perspective, they're hanging upside down. Almost done, if you can believe it. Their messy hair floats around their head. A couple of cycles worth of diagnostics, I'll be happy enough to release her back to you. A yawning Seraphim drifts in, looks between the two of you, amused. What are you both doing up so early? You and Bliss exchange amused looks. What? You didn't hear the alarm? He shrugs. Heavy sleeper. He drifts over to the mess's cupboards, hunting for some breakfast. You turn back to Bliss, but they have disappeared back into the ceiling panels, where along the mess is filled with a shrill screech of a power tool. Seraphim looks totally unaffected, and hooks himself onto a stool, lazily sucking at a ration pouch while he taps away at the slate. The screech finally stops. After a while, you kick off from your stool. Time to head out. Bliss rushes after you, stopping you in the passageway before you can leave. I have something I want to show you. Bliss leads you off to the main corridor into a corner of the ship you don't remember visiting before. Come into a room with low, sloped ceilings, a single round window illuminating some neat tool storage, and a workbench set in the wall. Look, Bliss begins. I'm no specialist, but I'm a quick learner and good at repairs. They smile. I think you have need of me. They glance at you, at a tear in the thick vinyl skin of your arm. I take a look? Sure. They smile and lead you towards the workbench. They turn your arm, looking at the tear from all angles. They reach over to the workbench, take a small sealant gun from the rack. They look at the setup. It's basic, but it looks clean and well organized. You gently close the tear with sealant, pressing the edges together so it closes up neatly. After they are done, they release your arm. You can barely see the scar. Bliss admires their work. See? They smile. I know it's more serious than a tear. Bliss folds their arm, but I can handle it. They turn and search through a set of metal drawers for a moment. Here. They produce a couple of carefully machined, pristine components. Was saving these for an important job. They wink. I guess I just found it. Bliss pushes the components into your hand. Take them. When you're ready, come up here and we'll fix you up. These are a rare find, though. In future, we might have to make do with something lower quality. They wince. You can find scrap components at most scrapper ships, like that one that's hanging around the underhang. The better the components, the easier they'll integrate with your system. Bliss leans on the workbench. I'll do my best to keep you running. Why help me? You're a guest in my bay. Can't have my guest bodies collapsing now, can I? Plus, I think it benefits me if you think of me as indispensable. Bliss smiles. As you get back to fixing the ship, they leave you in the workshop among the simple tools, seeing the particular quality of your new friend. Dice repair is now available. Yes, I need this. Repair your dice at the rig workshop. You want to repair dice which are fully broken. Repairs require either scrap components or rare components. Better components you use, less glitches you will suffer. Not repair dice during a contract. Okay. I mean, like, I do just need these. Okay, I can't do that again, it seems. I can do the other one. Oh, are all those glitches filled, actually? I think I just filled all of my glitch counter, actually. Oh, shit. Get a positive outcome with a glitch dice. Whatever happens, happens. I got an achievement for that. You know what? If it works, it works. I'll take it. You get into a good flow, taking care to follow Nemba's barked orders, and at the end of the shift, tired and satisfied, you eat your fill. Sweet. The Underhang grew organically, unit after unit built onto each other by refugees. You got to know the community that has settled in the Underhang and their humble neighborhood. The Scrapper Ship. You can buy scrap components where you can process raw scrap. So for 2 raw scrap, scraps will process your scrap in bulk, pay you for the offcuts, and return you the processed plates. It's not a bad deal. You can buy scrap components. Scrap components are bundled up in nets, most of them corroded beyond use. With a careful eye, some good ones can be picked out. I mean, it's probably worth me getting another one, just so I have enough to fix myself if I need it. I leave. Alright, we end the cycle because we're out of dice. But we'll have 4 dice for the next day. Like that. You jerk suddenly awake. A fragment is lodged in your mind. A shard of sound, of signal, a tone. It resonates like tinnitus, obviously internal, inescapable. Look down, see your hands blurred, your fingers dance as if they were typing. Settle them. Your fingers flap like caught birds. It's all your focus to settle them. You force yourself back into them, sensation like squeezing on a tight pair of gloves. You flex your hands a little to feel them, test them. What was that? Take a deep breath to calm yourself. As you do, you're reminded that you don't need to breathe. claustrophobic sensation that you cannot shake. I finally finished a tidbit of lore for my D&D game. Hey, D&D progress. How's it going, Fire? What's the lore tidbit? I like to hear the lore. You get up, push off the wall, pull on your clothes, anything to escape the dreams that hover there at the back of your mind. Seraphim drifts in casually, heading to his bunk to grab something. You can't shake the strange sensation that he has just drifted into your mind. He shoots you a glance. I said, are you okay? He gives you a concerned look. You look terrible. Not really. You mumble a response. You need to talk to me, sleeper. Seraphim gives you a look. He sighs. I know something happened back when you were leaving Hexport. The explosion? Not the explosion. He shakes his head. I saw it, sleeper. Saw something change in your eyes. He pauses, looking for the right way to explain. They were cold, fixed. I've never seen that before. He looks away. Back when we first met, I knew at once you were human. I knew because of your eyes. I never met a sleeper before, but I knew immediately they were no machine. It was obvious. Then on the rig, he shivers. Didn't see that anymore. But I am a machine. If you say so, sleeper. Either way, something changed. What did it feel like? He gives you a curious look. Let's try to identify it. You close your eyes and recall the moment. You remember Lane's voice. The rig hot and close. The numbness. And you see it glittering in the non-space of your mind. Thin and bright like spider silk. A thread. A connection between your mind and something else. You open your eyes to Seraphim's expectant face. Try to think how to describe what you just felt, but words fail you. Still, you know how you felt it. You know you felt it. The invisible hand of a signal linked to your mind, and the thought makes you shiver. We need to get you checked up. You need to know what's happening. Seraphim gives you a stubborn stare. It isn't just about you. But where? I've been asking around. Seraphim's face is set with determination now. Another station near this one. Flotsam. It's a mess. Accumulation of wrecks and docked ships. Also houses some of the best artificers in the wash. Should go there as soon as the rig is ready. Okay, I'll go. Thank you. Look, he pauses. I know I don't know what it is like to be a sleeper. I understand there are things you can't tell me, can't show me. But I do know how fear can keep you from doing what you need to do. I'm not going to nag you about it, he sighs, but it needs to be done. He passes by you as he leaves the bunks, squeezing your shoulder as he does, leaving you to your thoughts. You finish getting dressed, feeling your body, its strangeness even though you wish you didn't. At the very least, you think you need to find someone who can stop you falling apart. Maybe Flotsam is not such a bad idea. You push the thought to the back of your mind. There's a cycle ahead, and the rig isn't ready. When it is, then you'll see. Want me to send it? I'll send it over Discord. Well, yeah, sure, bye. Send it to me over Discord. Alright, what can I explore? Probably see what I can do up here now. Glitch dice slotted. Yep, let's give it a try. See what happens. Plus Spindle Cruise. Let's have a chat to the crews. Spacer crews are a constant presence in the Corps. If you want tips on crew and contracts, might as well ask them. You ask around about crew and contracts, and follow a few promising leads, starting to make progress. Gaia's Gyre. Kelp cakes. A huge cylindrical kelp tank sits at the center of Gaia's Gyre, source of the key ingredients for the canteen's food. Rack is a seaweed-based liquor with a powerful saline taste. Gaia's Gyre has a reputation for serving it neat and strong. The story of the Princess of Magic has been sent. Hey, sweet. Thank you very much, Fire. I'll look at it after this is done. Getting racked. The freelancers of the far spin will seem cagey, but spend enough time at the local bar and they'll warm to you. Oh, sweet. I can actually get energy from this, too. Alright, the Spindle Core. Yeah, it's a 50-50. Let's see what happens. You get lost and end up in a transit tunnel where cargo haulers rumble past dangerously. You need to be careful. Yes, however, with those actions expended, I can now go and get racked. Rather than dulling your senses, the rack heightens them. Your frame buzzes as it struggles to metabolize the drink. The forest middle is an exhausting place to find freelancers. No shortage of spacers here. The corridors and bays throng with crew inbound and outbound, on or between contracts, trading stories, contacts, and materials. Saline taste? Ew. It's literally like seaweed vodka, basically. Which I'm fairly sure well, they make seaweed gin, which I don't think is actually made with seaweed. But like, yeah. We're just drinking like the saltiest alcohol you've ever seen. Because apparently we're just growing seaweed in space, somehow. The Far Spindle is an exhausting place to find freelancers. There's no shortage of spacers here. The corridors and bays throng with crew inbound and outbound, on or between contracts, trading stories, contracts, and materials. Whatever language, appearance, or core identifies someone as worth signing on with, you don't seem to have it. Perhaps because you're a new face, or are noticeably unsure. Perhaps it is just because you are a sleeper. You push the thought to the back of your mind and instead focus on what's in front of you, the vast cylindrical tank at the center of Gaia's Gyre. The first time you entered the bar, you floated open-mouthed, much like all the new arrivals do, with the sight of the huge kelp stack, the biggest you have ever seen. Even now, your eyes fixed on the fronds of seaweed that wave in the circulating water. Beyond the curve of dirty glass, you find it impressive. Take a sip of the harsh, saline-scented rack from its magnetic vessel secured to the bar. As you suck on the straw, your eyes following the shifting fronds, you hear someone clearing their throat beside you at the bar. Hypnotic, isn't it? The voice is low and rumbling. It comes from the large figure on the stool next to you. The fluorescent lights behind the bar glint in his eyes, shining up into his wide, rough face. Ever talk your hiring? The figure turns to face you. You don't recognize him, but in the shifting light of Gaia's Gaia, that isn't surprising. That's right. He smiles. Well, today's your lucky day, my friend. He clicks his drinks to the magnetic bar with a swift clink. Yujin, currently freelance. He turns on his stool and leans back a little. The effect is clearly meant to impress on you his size, and yet to admit, it works. Served on a whole slate of crews out of the Spindle. Cutters, mercs, extractors. He smiles and places a broad hand on his chest. Broad skill set. Good work ethic. Sense of humor. A full package. Humble, too. He clucks with his tongue, smiling. I like you already. We're going to get on. I'll run anything out of the Far Spindle. I'm tough and quiet. You won't need to worry about me. He folds his arm across his chest. What kind of work are we talking about? Before you can answer, a voice echoes out from behind you. Eugene! You look over your shoulder for the source of the shout. Busy as ever, I see. Vesna. A group of 3 spacers drift up behind you, one of them placing a heavy hand on your shoulder. She is fitted with matte metal optical implants, and you cannot see her eyes. The caustic light from the tank plays across her face. Too busy to keep in touch, she sighs. I really don't like it when I have to come and find you. Vesna! Eugen nods politely at her, not betraying any strong reaction. Do I look like I'm socializing? He shakes his head. This is a meeting. Oh, a meeting. Vesna squeezes your shoulder. Is that what this is? Yes, Vesna. We are talking about your delivery, in fact. Eugen smiles widely. My friend here is being very helpful. Shoots you a knowing glance. That's right. Vesna turns to you with a raised eyebrow. Before she can speak, Yujin cuts in. The sleeper has a unique ability to extract data. Yujin smiles at Vesna. Exactly the kind of data you have been asking for. So we can just get back to it. Yujin gestures towards you. Then I can deliver what you need. It'll take a minute. I love that it's the inside of his jacket that has this, like, effectively, like, Hawaiian pattern. Like, the outside is very sci-fi with, like, the puffy sleeves, and, like, the single color, and, like, the wiring, and the cybernetic type stuff. And then he just has this, like, interior Hawaiian-style shirt. I love it. Seaweed vodka, that's worse. I know algae can be converted into energy somehow. Maybe that? Yeah, maybe that. I guess also they could technically just be running a, geez, what is it? What do they call them? Like hydroponics, which I guess is kind of how this is set up, with like this massive water tank in the middle of the restaurant. You know, Eugen, I'm pretty tired of this whole act. She gestures dismissively at him. But in the end, it doesn't matter. She drops her hand from your shoulder to her belt. Your eyes follow it down, and you see a dark, boxy shape there. A weapon? You deliver by the deadline, or you don't. And when you don't, she smiles tightly, I'll be happy to take you through the consequences. Until then, shoots you a final glance. Chat to whoever the hell you want. Vesna and the two spacers flanking her glide out of the bar, and Eugen watched them go with little emotion. So, Eugen's smile returns. You're about to hire me? What was that? Vesna, he shrugs. She's just trying to rush me, that's all. Won't be working with her again. He pauses, choosing his words carefully. Of course, I can't talk about the particulars. You understand? Vesna just wants to scare you off. She likes to cause me trouble. Eugen looks away out of the door of the bar. Let's not let her. He paused in silence for a moment, still looking away. Try to get a read on him, but his face is blank. Only his glittering eyes hint at some rapid internal activity. He turns back to you and meets your eye, a sudden shift in his manner obvious. If you need crew, you need to work. If you need to work, you need cryo. Is that right? Doesn't stop for your answer. But I can offer both. Hard work and a good contract with a good payout. You take me with you on this job of mine and we split the take. He looks down, thinking. Hell, if you do, I'll consider signing on long term. He smiles. Think of that. No more recruiting. What's the job? Salvage. He leans in. Another wreck untouched by the local crews, which recently turned up in the wash. Little sunward from here. But its disabled transponder makes it invisible to anyone who doesn't know it's there. I had to squeeze the location out of a contact, but I'll share it with you for a straight split. Take me and your crew, and we'll claim it all. It's gonna be a good payout. He winks. A really good one. What's the catch? I've been on deals like this recently. It didn't go well. Eugen frowns. No catch. He leans back and looks around the bar. Happy to take the offer elsewhere. I just felt like you were the right captain for this one. I'll be ready to go whenever you like. Eugen pauses. A show of good faith, I'll also fly out with you on any job from the far spindle. I'm not leaving the station with you yet. Not until we get my job done first. After that, we can talk flying together. No need to rush into it. He shakes her hand firmly, his palm rough and pitted, then turns back to his drink. You slip out of the bar, looking to see if Vesna is nearby. You don't spot her among the passing crews, but you can't help but imagine eyes on you in the bar. You shake it off, having become familiar with the feeling of being observed. What matters, you have found yourself a crew member in a contract. Whether either will come good, however, remains to be seen. There's more to the station. The Pinnacle Docks. Alright. We have... I really need supplies. Like, I don't have any of it. Do I have any other way of making money right now? Not particularly. Alright, back to the rig. We need to sleep. As you drift lazily down to the ship's mast, you hear raised voices. You steel yourself for a moment at the entrance and slip inside. Seraphim sits, hooked onto his usual stool, his slate glowing beside him. He's shaking his head as you enter. Bliss, meanwhile, is floating freely, and gesticulating sharply as they explain something important. I don't see why not, Bliss chops the air. Like you have an alternative. We can get the cryo. It'll take time, we can get it. That was the deal. Seraphim speaks calmly, trying to placate Bliss. Sleeper! Bliss spots you entering, and they turn to Seraphim. Let's see what Sleeper thinks about it. About what? They both fall silent for a moment. Seraphim sighs. The rig's ready, Sleeper. Bliss gestures around the mess. I fixed it. Hell, I've improved it. She's purring thanks to me. Now, wouldn't you say having done such an incredible job, I deserve to be paid properly for my work? A calculated look crosses their face. A refit and retune like this would typically cost my clients 100 of cryo, even if I was feeling charitable. Seraphim sighs loudly. He knows where this is going. See, I can make you pay. Make you even scrape the cryo up. Not without taking a contract, taking the ship off station, leaving me in the lurch. He wouldn't do that, Seraphim starts, but Bliss holds up a hand to shush him. So I have a proposition, one that clears the debt completely. They pause. I will turn around the open sign on this little bay of mine and join up with you. Oh? You keep me in work, give me my split, give me transits wherever you're headed, I'll even keep this rig of yours working for free. They shrug. What could be better than that? Us paying and being on our way, with no hangers on. Seraphim folds his arms and looks at you. Tell them, Sleeper. Actually, we could use their help. Bliss grins at Seraphim. See? Sleeper gets it. You can use my help. I'm an excellent engineer, a tidy shipmate, and a half-decent chef. I'm done with Farspindle. I'm done taking not enough jobs for not enough cryo on a station where I know nobody. They pause satisfied. You're welcome. Seraphim holds up his hands. Look, we appreciate it, but we are on the run, Bliss. Trust me, you're better off here. He gives them a serious look. Even telling you this could put you in danger. Bliss pauses, then they start laughing. On the run? They shake their heads, smiling. You expect me to be scared off by that goofy shit? It's true. Bliss just shrugs. The system's at war. The belt is spiraling into a crisis. Everyone's got something. I know you're at Hexport. Seraphim looks at them open-mouthed, searching for a retort. What happened there? Who say won't happen here? I'm not sitting around watching this all play out any longer. Take a deep breath. Something has to give. Bliss turns to Seraphim. Look, you've done your due diligence or whatever. You're on the run. I've been warned. I accept the risks. That's it. At the end of the day, your ship is clamped into my bay. So unless you know my encryption protocols, there's not much left to discuss. Seraphim shakes his head, a small smile crossing his face. They've got us there. He looks at you and then at Bliss. Look, looks like we've gained a crewmate. He unhooks from his stool. I'm moving to the engine room. He drifts off towards the bunks to gather his things. You and Bliss exchange a nervous look. Sleeper? Welcome aboard, Bliss. Bliss smiles, gives you a half-hearted mock salute. You leave Bliss in the galley and head for the cockpit. The rig is ready to fly again, but the question is, where to take her next? Seraphim mentioned Flotsam, a short starward journey from here as a busy station where you might find an artificer to help diagnose your glitches and errors. Sunward, meanwhile, is the Hellion Gate, an abandoned and uninhabited megastructure left over from the Solheim days. Maybe good for salvage, but not an easy place to survive. And beyond that, well, as I say, the belt is wide, at least now you have a functioning ship.